Good morning, Patreon subscribers. Hope you're doing well. Thank God it's Friday. It's been a very crazy week, but this is like a normal thing now, having crazy weeks. It used to be a lot calmer many years ago, and now we're seeing things. They look quite exhausted. Some of these moves. It looks like it's a lot of the stop hunts. It's punishing the retail guys, searching for liquidity. And I guess if you think about it, there's probably twice as many retail traders as there were, 5 years ago. So it's twice as much reason to go up and punish them. And this is why, if you're an experienced trader who's been trading for a long time, some of these recent moves look quite strange. And I think that's what it could be. It's just liquidity probes because of the amount of retail traders in the system, and it wants to flush those guys out. And this is a good example of a flush out, I think. But we'd have to note that the profitable traders are holding on to their bias, okay? Very much so, okay? And these guys are right. Normally, we can zoom out and zoom out. Oops, zoom out again. Here, we had the change, here. So they entered at 1753. There's an old fib there, I can get rid of that. So, if you keep an eye on this indicator, we had a bit of a weird mess there, but they went long here. And so that, you can use that on its own, and that's pretty good. I need to change my history for that, but that's fine. So if you're going to short it, be wary because the profitable traders are holding on, and they've also shorted it here as well. So they went long here, and then they shorted it here. So up we come, and if they continue to sell it, then we could fall. So really, this shouldn't really be falling because of that. The FXCM client sentiment is slightly different because this is IG, Awanda, Dukas Copy, FX Blue, my FX Book. It doesn't have FXCM in it. So FXCM is saying to sell here, and we've got a bearish candle here. So if you think about it, 1915 would be a better place to sell. That's where the institutional sellers came in. And however, it went against them, which is quite interesting. So I think it was a stop hunt to punish the retail guys. So maybe a short here, 1915, and you can have a stop at 1925. So it's like a $10 stop where you're going to probably target the SLC. It makes sense, doesn't it? 1893. Definitely taking a lot of stops above. So don't take a trade right now, but go for a long down here, because ideally you want it below this better volumes candle, which you can see there. Hopefully that's clear. So you want to sell below that low just for confirmation. So 1915 is a better place to short. So I probably might entertain a short there, $10 stop, target that. So it's a 2.5 R basically. Yeah, a bit more than 2.5, which is a good trade. So I'm going to be monitoring that later. AJ, well, we're taking out stops, but note that we're below monthly pivot. Look at that horrible move. If you're swing trading this, you would have probably, you wouldn't have made any money because, you're entering here and then you're looking to hold for a long term. That isn't long term. Did this, then it did that. So, yeah, if you're swing trading, I don't know how you do it, especially on these cross yen. Perhaps you. Yeah, it's horrible. It's like, this is horrendous. So probably the best way to trade is to do the intraday, in my opinion. And so we took out a stop loss cluster above. So that is of note. And we are a sell at the big picture as well. So that's quite naughty. This is a little bit naughty. And so we'd look at our major pairs. Aussie. And I'm quite glad it's Friday, to be honest with you. It's been a long week, but hasn't been too bad, really. It's just a lot of crazy moves. So MR1 now support 69.31. So keep an eye on that. It's fairly bullish if we've got that, because then we can target above, right? If we're below, then we have to target ATL short or even the support or SLC. So that level there, 69.31, it's quite a good level, quite strong. There's your weekly open. Above that, we'll target the SLC. Uh, Pretty crazy. I remember the S&P was making a buy on FXCM. So if we do see a rally on risk appetite, this should do quite well because it's got the fundamentals and macro stuff. The China reopening is going to help the Australian dollar. So if we do rally on risk, the S&P performs well today. This is probably going to follow because it's got the fundamental narrative as well. EU, and then so weekly open. So that's quite bullish. We are a buy, and they sold it slightly. SLC below 107.60, and one above 109. We was pretty much on the dot 109. Yeah, slightly, ever so slightly above. But you can see there's lots of stops up here. So probably going to be ripe for a squeeze, and it's going to take those liquidity out. And MR1 and weekly open have a confluence. So there would have been a good resistance below, and now it's a good support above. So be careful if you're short this, because we are a buy here, and we've got the technicals as well. So yeah, probably up here, probably 109. So maybe it might be a good one. GU, and then we'll do dollar Swiss and dollar yen. In fact, we'll look at dollar CAD as well. GU, so there's MR1, 123.53, which is now acting as a resistance, monthly resistance. So one above is 124.50, one below is 123.10. I was saying how this was a stop hunt, and this was the stop hunt here, and very nasty move. And really, I don't know really the fundamental reasons for this. Inflation's still very high, still double digit. We still got issues. You could probably say Brexit and Northern Ireland and things, and with the UK is going to enter recession this year. Apparently, it's a 90% probability. So probably pound really shouldn't really be going up from a fundamental perspective. Technically, we created an uptrend, which obviously broke there, and then this was potentially fake as well. I'm not sure what was going on last night. I was watching GU, and it was quite frustrating. I think perhaps it just wanted to take some stops out, took some out here, and it just wanted to take some out here. So MR1 is of note, okay? So fairly bearish below, especially if they're going to go long, all right? And we can fall. And dollar CAD, dollar Swiss, and dollar yen, and that'll be it for the week. Dollar CAD. Now CADs, we've got some Canadian data out later, retail sales data. So this could move. SLC is miles away. That's just silly. That is just silly. Okay, so 142.55. We can ignore that. Weekly open is here. Daily open's here. SLC is 134.39. Basically, if we're above the daily open or weekly open, we're bullish for the day and we're bullish for the week, okay? And but we have to remember monthly pivots up here. So ideally, we go for longs above MP, okay? And the one below 134.30. So it doesn't look too bad. Ideally, you'd want above MP. So it's still bearish below that, but we've got the daily and weekly open. So next week will be interesting. Dollar Swiss. Now, we did a massive pump on this. Okay, so we had support, right? So that might have been the reason for it. 91.45. See how we got supports again and again. SLC above, 92. One below, 90.80. Okay, so that might have been the reason for the pump from a purely technical perspective. Sentimentally, we shouldn't be pumping, but technically, yeah, we could because it's monthly support one. It's a strong level. And daily dollar yen, last one now, and choppy. It's very choppy. Taking an SLC, which is interesting, and there's your ATR target for a long, and we definitely went way over at the BOJ, did this horrible price action, and so I think really to end the week here would be sensible at 129.49, and because it's your ATR target long based on your weekly open. So that's your weekly open. We started here, and that's your target for a short. So we get into the target for a long. So crazy week, but hopefully maybe I explained why we're seeing quite a lot of erratic behavior. This is because the influx of dumb money and the fact that it probably wants to shake them out so they don't come back to the casino. But they do offer a lot of contrarian data, which is useful. So I'll be back Sunday, if I can, for the COT data. And I wish you a good weekend. And just remember to trade safely, especially if things are going like this. You know, this could be a horrendous move on its own. If you had like a standard size on that would be horrific if you were on the wrong side of that. Note we've got the monthly support one as well for UJ. So trade safely, remember your size, and don't forget you can have cherry pick. You don't have to trade everything, just look at something that looks good and then you can enter, but remember your lot size as well. It's so important. If you've got the wrong lot size, something like this, it can do catastrophic damage, and then, you know, it can blow you up. So that was in 3 hours, right? And that would have happened while you were asleep if you were in the UK. So be careful, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Have a great weekend as well.